And we continue with case examples. This time, it's NTT and how they are using robot framework for network testing, and also what kind of tooling they have created there.
Thank you, Beck. So hello everybody. My name is Nguyen. This is my first time in Finland and first time to attend RoboCon. So today we will present to you our company experience with the robot framework and how some of them will be useful for you. And another purpose of this is that we are seeking comments and advice from you to improve our tools. So this is just the company want me to put in. So a little brief about myself. So my name is Nguyen Huu Bach. So I come from NTT Communications based in Japan, Tokyo. Actually, I'm not a software developer, neither a tester, but I am a network engineer. So today my talk will focus on the network testing. So about the robot framework, I have about 2 years to learn and develop the tool for that. So a little bit about the company, because of you may not understand the name. So NTT is a big group, and we are in the NTT Communication in charge for the ISP, the IP transit business and ICT solution. So this is the service that I and my team in charge. So basically, it's an IP transit network, and we have 2 big networks. The AS2914, which is the ISP Tier 1 network, and the other one is the AS4713, which is the biggest ISP in Japan that includes over 7 million subscribers. So we are a very big network, and we do, and what our team mission is design the new service and also select the new equipment, also test that, make sure the equipment, the network work at design, the configuration they do all the necessary for us. And we also provide the procedure to operate the network, to operate the equipment to the operating teams. We do not operate by ourselves, but we will provide the procedure for them. And also we do the network troubleshooting in the background. So we do our testing very seriously. This is just part of our lab, and you can see a lot of equipment. It takes also a lot of money there. Usually, this is what we are doing in the field. Frankly speaking, we are a telco company, so I think that our automation is very slow behind than your company. So usually, with a new equipment, it usually takes us 3 or 9 months, and sometimes, depend on how many bugs we found on the device and make the vendor make the patch for them and we retest again. Sometimes it takes over 1 year for a new product to launch out, and thousands of test cases for each project. So network testing is a long and painful process for me, at least. So our challenge here is that we need to shorten the time to market of the existing services. And also at the same time, we need to shift the human resource, the equipment resource to develop a new service. And also, this is usually happen among the human tester. The quality is different. Someone is very skilled at the testing, but someone don't. And human always make error. We want to eliminate that also. And also, the team's motivation and skill. So for now, the tester, they do the testing manually, the same thing, the routine work time by time. But in the near future, that kind of work will be, we can say, disappear with the stuff of RPA, automation, AI, same thing. So moving the network from manually testing to more advanced way. So the solution, the answer for that, we think that is automation. Clearly is that. But talking about automation, we have some, I think in the network side, we have 3 types of automation here. We have SO, service order automation, operation that usually been taught in some conference. But testing is not very, discussed among the network engineer. So we want to run out the automation in network testing, but this is the issue when we have in our company, but I think it's the same thing happen in other telco also. So first thing, a lot of legacy equipment. So with new device, they usually provide API, REST API. It's easy to make the testing automation, but we also have a very legacy device that only user need to telnet into the device, make commands, check the results. The other thing that we have, that some vendor, they provide the automation testing tool solution, but when we log with them, it's difficult for us to customize. And in my experience, that at the end, even the best tool provider in the market, at the end, we need to customize to fulfill some specific requests in the field. And also, we need the test solution not only for part of the solution, but every device. In case of our case, we have a router, switch. We also have a tester, traffic generator, security equipment. And so everything needs to be done in the same unified testing. And that's where Robot Framework helps us a lot. The fourth thing right here is a low programming skill, as I said at the beginning. In telco, especially in the network testing, and maybe it's our special issue, but people do not want to know about programming. They do it by hands, and they're happy with that. So introduce something new that not require a high skill of programming is very necessary for us. So what we need is a generic testing framework, easy to use and easy to extend so that we can customize to our request. And we also need something that has already proven in the field and something that we can focus on network testing. The first 3 things could be all provided by the Robot Framework, I think so. And for the last thing, we have developed a tool to fulfill that. So at first, we run out to search for any existing solution. And the Robot Framework, at that time, 2 years before, this is our own evaluation, fit that request. But still, we need to focus more on the network testing. So we add more function into the Robot Framework, and we call it a RENAT, a Robot Framework extension for network automated testing. So the RENAT is actually a test library. So it's basically based on the Robot Framework, but we extend it to support the other device that we have on the lab, like the router, the switch, the web appliance, the traffic generator, optical switch. And I will explain a little bit more, but the RENAT support multi-level of programming. So when users, they don't want to programming, it's okay. But if they can do more, useful work. So this is the overall architecture of the RENAT. So this is some highlight of RENAT. It's not on, but some, I think interesting. The first, we simulate the terminal very closely because the user usually log into the device by a terminal, do some commands, and check the result. We want to simulate that process very similarly. So usually when you check the output from the access or telnet, something dynamically change, like the top command, the output will look like this. But with the RENAT log file, we utilize the terminal simulator, so it can provide easy to read log data. And also the RENAT is applied for the auto cabling in the lab. So we have a lot of devices connected together. We used to connect it by hands, but it's out of control. So RENAT also provides us to connect the device by directly control the N1 switch like this with the connection profile. So as I mentioned, these devices are supported already by RENAT. So we also have the last one, the Windows machine, that we did not do yet. And actually, I would like to have advice about that. So as I said, the RENAT support multi-programming level. So the first one is just a command list. People can execute the command list to the device. And it can be extended by using the Jinja2 template with some variables. So the next level is that the user can combine the keyword by themselves, and this is very clearly in the robot work. So the third one is the Python library. Any advanced action and logic will be implemented in the Python library. So the tester can use it without knowledge of programming. They still can use this. And we also separate the data and the logic. Once we create the scenario, it can be reused a lot of time by just changing the data that everything is collected in one YAML file. So, as I show you later, the tester can be focused on just the testing itself, not need to care about how to log in what is the username, what is the password, how to take the log file, everything like that. So let me show you a demo, and I hope it's a live demo, and I hope it will successful. So this is a little bit difficult, a typical test we do in the lab. So we have a router, a DUT, and we connect it to the traffic generator, the XR network. And we make sure that we will load the pre-configuration into the DUT and the XR network, make sure everything is okay, and then take the current status of the device, like this, and look into the information, make a report. Actually, it's an Excel report based on that result. So our tester usually do it by hands. And this kind of item will take about maybe 2 hours or something like that. So this is the procedure that we will change this to the robot framework scenario. So one good thing is that we can almost keep the current exist procedure and convert it to the robot framework scenario with the RENAT. So you can see that this is the shift scenario, the translate scenario. I will explain a little bit about it later, but the test will take for a while. So firstly, the scenario can be just copied like this. And this is, can you see it? This is the test server, the robot framework server in our lab. So we will hopefully everything we will find. Robocon. This is a test item, we call that item. No, it's okay. So it will use the local configuration, and we will use a tester, just like this, a tester, we will define it later. We also have a PGP file, and also node, we call it target, the DUT. No web application, no hypervisor. And we have an item like this. So you can see this is the template of our test item. So we will push this scenario. Just pass it here. And we need to customize something that specific for this test. So I have been assigned some router and traffic generator for this. So we can customize this. So our device will be and we have connection file also predefined us. We also have a tester that this time we will use as it's an Excel network. And we'll provide a real test port for them. Also provide the card number and a port. And we also have an interface for this text. We just put it in the YAML file. So everything has been localized for this test item. And we copy a predefined configuration for the DUT. Also, connection date profile for the cabling, and I have the target, that's the configuration for the generator. So now we have, so let's put one thing more. This is the scenario. So we just do a dry run here. Everything goes fine. Hopefully it will be okay. So this is when the DUT and the generator is connected physically in the lab. And the configuration is logged to the DUT. The tester, they need a little bit more time, so I just leave it here and go back to the, this is the Slack channel of our team. Just put it here. So we go back a little bit to the scenario, and you can see that we provide something called vendor independent keywords that will automatically recognize the platform of the device and execute the native command. And the difficult logic at the end, when user look into the output and make the Excel, will be embedded into the advanced keyword in the 07 step. So the test is still running, so I will be a little bit further more. So when waiting for this is the current result of our RENAT in the lab. So it has been deployed to several projects, and it's actually saved us a lot of times. So some specific case that it reduced the test case from 20 days to 1, and also another case in 2 weeks to half a day. So it utilize the test gear that we can do it on Saturday, Sunday, even weekend, holidays, and easy to connect the test environment to the other team, to other tools like Jenkins and Slack also. So this is some number. So the device under the RENAT has been over 200 in our lab. It includes a lot of equipment, as I said. And every day, people use RENAT, 100 times a day. So future works is planned for, so the state is still going, it's flap the interface a little bit, a few more minutes. So the future works is we want to push the framework to the network community. I mean, to share our experience and also maintain and improve the RENAT code. Also add new support to new platform and products. And for now, we also automate the test process, but not care much about the test result itself. So we want to push more about the result auto evaluation also. We also modelize the testing process and study more about the scenario sharing ecosystem so that we can share the scenario between our teams. And the tool is still in progress, and we put it on GitLab and hope we can work with you. So the test finished, and do we have, okay. It says that, okay, the test finished. And the result is something like that. This is the result. Okay, not this one. Okay. I think I missed the. So the result, they say the test device, the point that we have everything that we execute on the device will be logged, will be help us to look back into the test when it has something, when it needs to recheck. And the logic that I said will be implemented like this. So we just simulate exactly what the tester do right now, and the result will be collect into the Excel result as they do until now. So that's one of the concept of the RENAT that we don't want to change the workflow of the current tester, but we only want to automate them. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Very interesting. Totally different domain than earlier one, but I think the common theme was the huge reduction in the time testing takes. So very interesting, very interesting. Any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
I'm already checked that NTT is providing a cloud solution for SDN networks. So do you have some experience? Do you already using robot framework for testing of SDN solutions?
So the question is that are we using the RENAT? I mean, you mean RENAT, right? For the SDN solution, and the answer is yes. We are also working with the cloud team in our division, and they will extend the RENAT to support the hypervisor, support for the NFV function testing, and they already use it. I mean, a lot. Thank you.
Okay, it's great. As I think everybody here knows, Robot Framework has some of its origin at Nokia Network, so it's great to see that it's used at NTT, and also, well, Cisco getting to being the member of the Robot Framework Foundation was also pretty awesome, so kind of a strong still on network testing. Well, thanks again, and Jani has a hoodie. So now we have third case. This time it's we've heard about how at Trimble they are using Robot Framework for testing